Good morning, everybody. I'm just going to give some time for people to see the live and see that I've gone live, and then we'll start. Hey, good morning, Angela. How are you today? Hey, Renaissance. Ordering that book that you mentioned yesterday, Renaissance. I found it over here on Amazon. So let me just give a minute. Good morning, Rashonda. Let me just get the kettles boiled. Let me just get the tea. I'm having a late start today. My apologies, but you know how it goes. So give me a moment. I'm here, and I'll be right back. Good morning, guys. Just was giving some time for you all to get in. Poured my tea, but I'm here. Later start today. I got up early. For those you don't know who have chickens, oh my god. Now I know why people get powered automatic doors. Jeez. And once you get up, it's hard to kind of go back to lie down. But I tried. But yeah. So good morning. I think I left off at Miss Rashonda. Good morning to you all. Good morning, Miss Fifi. Or blessings. When people say good morning is a negative connotation, but sometimes you forget. So blessings to MSV. Those of you guys who get up early or just up and Adam early. I was gonna be in the garden this morning, but it's raining again, which is good. So I got my rain barrel, one of them set up to catch. Blessings to you, D Macro. And I think I got everybody. Um, so the rain barrel's catching rain. I wanted to get some stuff done. I'm gonna still get the stuff done, to be honest. I'm gonna have to put on a jacket and a hat or hood, because you can't wait. People are not here planting your crops for you. You're gonna have to plant them yourself. And the weather's not always going to be in your favor, nor is situations in life gonna be always in your favor. And you just gotta keep to the plan. And the plan is I want some crops to harvest. And if I'm gonna get a harvest, I'm gonna have to drop my seeds. So that's what I'm working on. I've been pretty much watching everyone's videos this week around these streets. So we can talk about that a bit as the you know as the world turns. I'm just checking here some articles as well. So what's going on with you guys? How do you guys feel this week? Today on this blessed day? Okay, so you guys are just talking to each other, catching up. And yeah, good to see you, Angela. I haven't seen you in a minute. I saw you yesterday, but I haven't seen you in a minute. I guess you're working. I know how that goes. Um, it's hard when you're scheduled, and sometimes you're just tired. To be perfectly honest, you're just tired, and or you're in the bushes. Sometimes you're just in the bushes. Okay, I'm just checking here. Anything? Now, I know there's a lot going on in the news. I'm not going to really go into a lot of that. Some of it's just heavy. And I know Miss V covers that some of that in her one of her channels. She has the two channels there. So one of them she does um crime investigate not investigation, but like she talks about the stories. So I'm seeing today um there's some weird stories on my feed today. Um it says here a 3-year-old missing girl was found by a drone in Washington state. She wandered. Okay, that's. I'm not gonna go into that. Yeah, it's too much. I was off last week, so I'm. Oh, okay, okay. So exactly, you were. Yeah, exactly. There's stuff going on. There's warnings about air fryers and microwaves. Um, and I think it's the coding on these items, as we. Well, hopefully you guys know. I think I. Oh, hey, blessing Psalms 146. Um, you have to be careful. It's very hard to find an air fryer without that coating. I haven't really seen one readily available in the stores over here, but I don't put my food on the tray that it comes with. I put my food in another. You can either put it on parchment paper. You really shouldn't put your food on aluminum foil. If you guys didn't know that, if you are using foil, you should put parchment paper in the foil, put the food on the parchment paper, and then wrap like that, your fish or whatever it is you're baking, potatoes. You shouldn't be putting your food on aluminum foil or on Teflon. I have a nonstick frying pan, so it's kind of hypocritical, but I make sure that I don't scratch it. I don't put metal. Yeah. So I use an air fryer. It does have that Teflon, whatever coating, but I don't put my food. Do I put my food on it? I may have put French fries on it a couple of times, but for the most part, you can buy an insert, or some people just use a coffee filter, 2 coffee filters, they double it up and they put whatever in there so that it's not touching. But yeah, but if you can get one that does not have that lining in it, that would be better. So the air fryer and the I don't really use microwave, to be honest. I can say I probably use a microwave this year once in 2023. I know I heated up something in there maybe twice. I really don't use a microwave. I'll put it in the toaster oven in a Pyrex dish or a pie pan and let it warm up slowly. I have the luxury of working from home now, so I can have a hot lunch without relying on a microwave. So some of you don't have that, so maybe you can just make a cold lunch if you're in the office, but we really shouldn't. Some offices have toaster ovens as well, but don't get caught up with don't get on with the microwave. It's not good for you. You can do some more research yourself, but it's not good for us. What else happened? It's popping up on my feed. What just emerged at the Grand Canyon? Okay, that looks interesting, but I'm not going to open that one. And I hope everyone's planting their garden. Good morning, Lashes. Everyone's planting their garden. Because every week, because I search for a lot of food stuff and what's in the food, it's too much to go into every week, but all we can do is encourage you as much as you can. I'm not saying you're going to get up tomorrow and all your food is going to be replaced by your own homegrown food. That's a bit of an ask, but to start to chip away at some things that you purchase, and the goal is to be reliant on your own garden and not the store. Lashes had a video this week. She's showing her picking her blueberries, and her kids didn't like blueberries. They probably didn't even like a lot of things, but when they're eating it from the garden, they like it more. And also maybe the part of the liking is that they're seeing where their food is coming from. They're watching it grow. They're watching it go from a flower to an actual item of food. They're watching it ripen and just being more connected to nature and the food, which is what's lacking in society. The kids don't know where nothing's coming from. We need to teach them those things. We need to also teach ourselves. Some of us forgot our history, how we were brought up, and some of us may have never been exposed to that. We were brought up in North America and we've never been exposed to that. So just expose your kids to, food. Uh-oh, let me see what yeah, the Grand, let me see. The Grand Canyon one popped, but they did talk about yeah, it's a lot. A lot is being exposed and revealed. And I said when I first came on this platform and met a lot of you all, and probably it was probably on Lashes' live, because that's where a lot of us kind of met, on Lashes' live, and then she would be going around, doing errands and stuff, and we on there for 2-3 hours. She would fall asleep at night. We would be talking on our own, and she gone left the live, and it's like I was saying, we're trying to like unlearn what we've learned and relearn, because a lot of what we've learned is not really accurate. That's just me gone getting laundry coins and here and there, and we're having our own conversation in the chats. And a lot of us met through her live streams. A lot of you, yeah, I met through and some of the channel building lives where you try to build your channel. And I went on a few of those this week to build the channel, but I don't know. It's a sidebar. It's a catch 22 when you go on these building channels. You go and you get like 2 or 3 subscribers. Then I looked this morning, the 2 or 3 subscribers are gone. And it's like they don't understand that when you subscribe, the other person has to wait about 24 to 48 hours before they subscribe back. So I watched a video, liked it, did whatever you're supposed to do, but I didn't subscribe back because it's just gonna show up as a sub thing and it's gonna delete. Anyways, I went and I tried. I said I don't like doing them. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go back again. But now I'm like, here we go again, back for that. People just like get salty and then, oh, she didn't subscribe right away, so they unsubscribe. Anyways, here we go again. So I'm just out here in these streets trying to meet different people, new people, and try to broaden my reach. But yeah, a lot of things are being exposed and revealed. A lot of what we thought was a certain way is not that way at all, and it's quite interesting to watch and see. But there were giants in the land, and it's not clear what happened to them, but I'm sure those things will come out. There's a lot of sales. I'm seeing a lot of sales. I know I'm not in your same country, but there's a lot of sales happening. So keep your eye on the flyers, especially if you want things for preparedness and stuff like that. I'm seeing um like they have in one of our stores a outdoor like oven slash um what do you call it, fire pit slash kind of thing, and it's on sale. It's excellent price, made for the outdoors. There's a lot of things I'm seeing. I lost 26 subscribers. I think I lost that. Yeah, me too. I'm telling you, I don't know what's going on. So I'm trying to figure out the system. Like, is it I'm doing a live every week. I'm posting pretty much not every week, but I posted this week for the herb garden challenge. I have 2 short videos that are almost finished, like 3-minute videos, nothing long. So I'm just trying to drop more. So maybe I'm not dropping enough, but some of you are dropping videos regularly and you're still having the same problem. So I don't know if there was false accounts, people opened accounts, and now the AI knows that they're like, fake accounts, people open to still follow people and they're not really real. I don't know. Something's going on. So I'm trying to build back again. This is crazy. But there's a lot of things on sale, guys. So check out your flyers, check out in store, and see what you can get on sale. Also, I'm just looking here. The weather, there's a lot of weird weather going on. I think a lot of weather issues and people, cold fronts that came through. A lot of people. Good morning. She said a lot of people. Okay, no problem. Yes, listen and get ready to go out. I'm here as a radio program. Um, I wasn't posting. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I had to find that sweet spot. I know most of us are content creators, so we do want to have. We didn't do all this work to build to let it just disappear. So we do want to keep consistent. I think maybe I have to do more shorts or something just to keep something going. I don't know. I'm missing something. Um, I'm not sure if I'm putting my videos out properly in terms of putting the right hashtags. I am doing hashtags and so forth, but I'm gonna have to. We probably have to have a conversation. Some of y'all share your tips. I share my tips on each of our channels because we all have something to learn because we do want to succeed with this social media. Some people are just doing it for fun, but some people do want to at least get a little something from their time, and that's not a big ask. So, however you can give us knowledge, that would be great. Um, yeah, I'm just looking here, and I'm seeing a lot of information because I was looking for over a year about chickens. A lot of the information on my feeds about chickens. Let me clear my throat. About chickens. So I'm seeing a lot happening in the world. And I got an article about Germany, and they're having some issues. Not issues, I wouldn't say that, but they were that country was like the benchmark for uh raise breeding chicks and doing it in a more ethical manner. And they're having a hard time 'cause I guess society has changed and people don't want hatcheries to get rid of the males, the potential males, because people don't want to buy males. People usually want hens to lay eggs and they maybe want one rooster. But when you're hatching, and if people get a rooster, they're usually used for meat. So unless you got the stomach for butchering something, most people don't want to get a, a rooster or a cockerel. They want a hen. I think sometimes the tags don't help if it's not trending. Yeah, maybe you're right. Like I don't know. Again, I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's not trending. Maybe we gotta look at what the trending things are and then put something about that in your video. I don't know what's going on. And I want to say shout out to Rashonda. If those who maybe don't follow her, she had a praise report. She got a medical report. You can watch it on her channel, but basically, there's no cancer. So go over there, watch the video, send her your love and support. There's a lot of people in these platforms that are going through stuff, and they're sharing their story to help other people. So please check her out. Excellent praise report. We got to keep each other prayed up because we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. So please keep each other prayed up. I'm also seeing dandelions. Today is dandelion season. Not today. This is dandelion season. I know Fifi has a video of her harvesting them. I didn't see many. Blessings, Starduster. I did not see many dandelions, but now I see a few more popping up. My lawn needs mowing. I was going to mow it, but then it's raining again, so that it keeps delaying. So you have to just go with what you got, guys. It's not about what you feel like doing. Sometimes you don't feel like doing it. I don't feel like getting up at 6 o'clock, being outside to open the door for these cluck clucks. I don't feel like it, and it's not even winter. So you can imagine when the snow comes. So I'm gonna have to maybe invest in a automatic door opener because it's very difficult to get up and then go back to bed. It's not just getting up and you're getting up, going outside and coming back. So now my whole schedule is kind of off and I'm going to bed extra early. Anyways, enough about that. But you don't always feel like it. You don't. But you got to do what you got to do because we talk about in prepping, people say no one's coming to save you. Well, no one's coming to drop your seeds for you, and no one's coming to do your chores for you either. So this is something that you're going to have to wake up and get done yourself and find a way to get it done because it's just not it's not easy, but you have to just be consistent. um Collect the flowers at the road. Yes, I got some in my yard. I'm gonna watch Fifi's video. I i don't think it's hard to do. I think you just pop them out all the way from the root and then you separate the root and the top. I think she did, and she dried them. And I have a dehydrator, so I'm going to do that this year. Um, the book Renaissance Grandma did a live last night, and it's not the first time she's recommended a particular book that's available on Azure Standard. It's on Amazon as well for me. It's probably cheaper for you all on Azure, but for me, I'm over here, so it's Amazon. And you need to know sometimes how to sometimes you know from your mother doing it and your grandmother, but it's good to have a book that you can refer back to and use, and also, see other ways to use the herbs, because sometimes different cultures have different ways of doing things. Um, so harvest your stuff, your quote unquote your weeds. A lot of us are doing the herb garden challenge. Some of you already been had herbs. It's not nothing new for us, but you're expanding your selection, and I'm realizing some of the herbs take a long time. Rosemary has just taken a long time. The oregano, same thing. The parsley was sitting on them by accident, and now I see like a little black spot. So I'm like, oh Lord, please, after all this time waiting, please don't. Yeah, Renaissance went live last night at 9 p.m. So I didn't know. I saw it. I was out doing errands. I went to Costco. I did a couple of errands last night after 6. So I saw it and I clicked reminder. That's the only reason why I knew. And then I went into I was in about 3 lives. I can't remember all of them. See, old. I don't know if it's old age or what. I know I was in Renaissance. I know I was in Big Rooster, but he was actually doing it through Salon Diva's channel. Then I was on Weightlifting Geek for a bit. He's at 10 p.m. But by that time I had to go to sleep. And somebody else was on. Yeah, I was on somebody else's live, but I didn't stay there long. Two other people's lives. One person I stayed for a bit because there was beautiful scenery. The other person I didn't stay there long, and I was in Renaissance because she was, giving us some knowledge. So, the book, I'm gonna get that book and some other books, because a lot of herbs that we're gonna be using, most likely than not, they're gonna be used for tea, maybe seasonings, and I don't know, maybe salves and like creams, maybe. Yeah, many weeds are medicinal. So we've been talking about, girl, I was only up because I was forcing myself to be up. I was in bed. Morning, Tara Jones, I was in bed because I'm getting up at I was letting the girls out at 6:30, and by the time I got out, maybe almost 6:45, and they were not happy. They were not happy. This morning I got up and got them the door opened at 6. And the lady downstairs is like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, I got to give them water first thing in the morning. You got to work." So I might ask her to open the door for me in the morning, as long as the water and the food's been topped up at night by me. All she's got to do is pull that handle to open the door, and that's it. Maybe. And then she can get some eggs for that service, and then I do the other shift. But I got up earlier, and then also sidebar. Let me talk about chickens for a minute, because some of y'all have chickens. I had one egg for sure this week in the nest box. It was Friday morning actually. No shell, just a little. And I know you guys. I've seen you guys show that. I think it's Fifi and some other people showed, like, there's an egg, a yolk, and a sac, but there's no shell. And that was strange. Good morning, Spring Meadow. Oh, Florida, lovely weather there. I think. No, is it raining there still, Lashes? You got to get 8 hours because your son is on you. Your son is on your Keon is on you. We saw yesterday. He had to run down the street. The man is in the road. She went to show us her nice brand new lawn that they got installed after the Anyways, enough with the HOA. And the child gone down the road. And then so we know. Yeah, I'm finding that is a better plan. So sleep, yep, I need to get my sleep. So I'm weird schedule right now. Yeah, if I top up the food and water at night, I ooh. So what I'm doing is I'm removing the food because I don't want to attract mice. But I don't think the mice can get in there if it's hanging, so maybe not. And then the water, I pour it off at night because by the time you get in there at night, it's full of shavings and sand and all kind of foolishness. I don't know what they're doing with the water. So maybe, yeah, I can get her to do that for me. But I found an egg with no shell, but it was still intact. And then I saw an egg in the roosting bar, one of the roosting bars where they roost, and there was a yolk there. No shell, no nothing. So I think it could have been the same hen I was trying to lace, and then there was no shell, because I didn't see any signs of the hens picking at anything. They didn't break an egg. They didn't. There was nothing there. There was no shell, but there was a yolk. I scooped it up and the other one, and I put it in my bucket with all their compost and their droppings. Later on, the other girls laid, and nobody went and pecked at no egg. So I don't believe it's a pecking or them breaking an egg or they stepped on an egg. It was something was weird. Okay, storms coming later on today. No rain until around 3 p.m. Okay, I know someone was saying there was supposed to be some kind of storm. But yeah, topping up, you got to find what works for you, a rhythm that works for you. I know Keon's too much. And I'm like, Lord of mercy. I had left the room to get something, and then I heard some screaming. I'm like, what's going on with Keon? But yeah, so poor Lashes she has to get her sleep because once she gets up and he gets up, that is it. She won't leave her alone. Oh, you can't get 8 hours? I don't know. Yeah, sometimes this week I've been weird. I don't know what's going on. 5 hours to 6 hours sometimes. That's what I'm pretty much getting now. And I can tell I don't my body's like, oh Lord. So I'm trying to give myself more nutrients, more stuff just to get through. I think I'm dehydrated as well. Today's just a random conversation about I added grit on Friday. I added grit a few times, but they said don't add too much grit. So what I'm trying to do is get a separate dish to hang on the mesh with just grit because they say that they will eat it when they know they need it. I don't want to mix it in the food per se, but I did do it on Friday. I have gravel in the coop that they walk up and down on and sand. And every day they eat in that, but that's probably not very calcium rich. So, yes, I'm going to have to get I'm going to go to the dollar store because they usually have some kind of bird feeder, something to hook onto the side of the coop. And I'll put some oyster shells in that. And other than that, that's the first time I've seen it. So it could be one of the new girls who's new to laying because what I do notice, again, I got to clear my throat. Sorry. Is chicken. I like having chickens. I like their individual personalities, but I don't like chickens. And you'll be like, what are you talking about? They are ruthless. They are wicked. They are literal dinosaurs. I went in Thursday night to make sure that they were, in good and how they were nesting. And all of them fight to be there's 3 roosts. I added on a piece so that there would be enough room. No, 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 no. All of 6 of them want to squeeze up in an area for 3 instead of spreading out and putting 3 and 3. Then I saw one poking one in the eye, and the other one poked the other one in the eye, and then one was stepping on one on the ground. And so I opened the lower door, and it was literally like a comedic show. You know, you open the door and everyone just freezes in their whatever pose that they were in. So I saw, a mid peck, a mid wing box because they like box with the wing, and then a foot on one's back. And I'm sitting there like, really, really, girls, really. There's enough room for you to go 3 over here and 3 over here. And then they sleep under. I don't like when they sleep under the roost because then they end up with pure doo-doo on them. So I want them to sleep in a way that is, you go over there. So then one left the room and they're fighting and carrying. And I'm sitting here thinking, I really, like, why do I have you here? I don't like the way you guys go on. I don't like the way they behave. They literally pecked the one in her eye. And then she couldn't really, and then I'm like, duck, man. I'm like, duck, move your, turn your neck, do something. Don't just take the peck like that. Then I get involved. And because I get involved every time, I change the pecking order about 3 times. So I'm trying to stay out of it this time. But really, I'm like, yo, I want to give you a slap in your head. And so I said, okay, I'm not getting involved. But yeah, so this morning, yeah, I take naps. Sometimes I take naps. Remember, your children are young, so their bodies are adjusting to becoming. Okay, I will just add the right grit to the food. Add the grit to the food. Okay, just add it to the food, and they'll eat what they need to eat. Yeah, I bought some oyster shells from when I first got them. I just bought everything that people say that you need, so that I had it. That's pretty much 4 or 5 every morning. I'm just catching up with the chat, guys. If they're Yeah, they're eating the gravel, and I'm telling you, they're eating the sand. But maybe, so I put it in the food because maybe the oyster has more calcium. I didn't do any research. I've been having so much fun using bamboo in the garden. 2 trellises an arbor, 2 dragon fruit supports. Next, I'm gonna build a fence. I like bamboo. I've had bamboo from I moved to this home, and it is very durable. Sometimes when they give you these things, they're thin and they'll crack, but if they're a good thickness, it's fine. If you hear me slurping, excuse me, sorry. But that's a good idea. Yeah, yeah, they're a hot mess, like literally. And the things that they're fighting over is literal foolishness. But I'm laughing, and I'm not laughing. 'Cause I think God is teaching me a lesson because it's like there's some things you don't get. Like people who don't have a cat don't get like Garfield the cartoon. Nobody ever you don't get it. When I got a cat, that cartoon became more funny. It made sense because you have to have the experience to get the jokes and the satire. But literally, they froze it and looking at me. Oh, she sees us. Did she see us? I'm looking right at you. I'm at eye level, guys. Why is your foot on her neck? Why? Like it was. And I'm trying to like, you know what? So I thought they were getting along. I think I over exaggerated that. They're not fully getting along. They do that. I'm telling you. I sit and watch them. They're comical, like literally. And then the ones that you think are on top, they are, but a few times a day, the lower ones give them a good box. And one girl opens her wing and just plop. She just plop. Give them one back behind them and knock them over the roofs. I'm telling you, they're crazy. Exactly. You're yelling at them, and then they they hear you because they know some of them know their name by now. The other two I haven't named because I don't know what to call them. I can't tell them apart. So it's gonna be like I don't know, Tweedledum and Tweedledee, I guess. All I know is that they're yummy, dipped in flour and deep fried. They are crazy. And unless you have them, you don't get it. Like it's funny to hear, but when you have to like sit there and experience it, it's a different level of understanding. And then you can't get involved. You want to get involved, but you can't, which kind of reminds you of like even politics in certain countries. Sometimes you can't get involved, or you shouldn't get involved because they have their own thing over there that you have to. You can guide, but you shouldn't be involved in everything. Yeah. So yeah, and the boss wants her favorite spot, and then she moves them off, and then the other ones don't get that. Hello, this is not your spot. Like, why do you have to fight every night? Go to your spot before the fight start. Oh no, 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 no! They gone to the spot. Yes, I mix. Does DE have calcium? I do mix DE with the food. Good morning, Darren. I do mix DE with the food, and I don't think I mix it with this batch, but first time I'm seeing this, but I'm wondering. I guess the food doesn't have calcium because if I purchase layer feed, shouldn't that technically be all inclusive? Back out to get some things done, and okay, no problem. Take care. I'm going to be in the garden in the rain, but I don't even. I gotta get some stuff done. I think we would do that with our pets. I would have conversations with my cat that I knew couldn't change her behavior. Yep, yep. Yep, we talked to and you're like, I know you understand what I'm saying. I know you hear me. I know you hear me. And then they look away from you because it's like these animals know. I'm telling you, they know. But what I'm learning is in a deeper way because you kind of already know these lessons, but it's hard to apply them. You can't force chickens to do what you want them to do. I literally went under because I had to go on hands and knees to reach the corners underneath the coop. The way how I have it, it's not really reachable. I had to do it with what I had, the space that I had. So it's not easy to get into the corners. I got the kneeling cushion. I went down, put the cardboard on the dirty floor to go take the corners. I buried the tarp in the corners and covered it with sand and then gravel. And these cluck clucks went and to every corner and dug it up and moved all the sand and all the gravel from the corner. So now there, I see strings of tarp everywhere. So you know what? If you eat tarp and you're dead from the tarp, it's not my problem because I don't know how you're nosing up yourself into things that you shouldn't be nosing up yourself into. They literally go into the spot that you do not want them to go and start to dig it up. I add the layer feed too. Oh, so you add it to the layer feed too. They literally go in the corner that you don't want them to go to and do this foolishness. How many coworkers do that in our companies? Because I had coworkers like that. You don't, and you can't control people. You have to learn how to, you can say manipulate or to guide them into doing, because you can't just say, you're not doing this, you're not going there. Because as soon as you do that, I'm going over there. Make me. What are you going to do? Make me. And literally, Redding, Clover, and even Becky will look at me and say, what you going to do? I said, you know, you need me more than I need you, right? You know, I can just batter you up and fry you right now. I don't need that badly. Like, I can really go to the store and buy these eggs myself. So know your place. I just mix it all together and scoop in the feed. I know. Yeah. They're pretty much okay, but something I'm working on their mix. So I have the feed. I added sunflower seeds, the black oiled sunflower seeds. I added alfalfa pellets, which they seem to like, except for a few of them, throw them on the floor, but too bad, you're gonna eat them. Then I bought some steel cut oats. And I'm putting in there. I put cayenne pepper, I put chili pepper flakes, oregano, basil, and parsley, always the dried, mixed with the food. It's good for antiviral, antifungal, deworming, all that natural stuff, and it gives them some good herbs. I am going to start adding flax seeds, because I think that's good for them as well. And I'm going to figure out any other natural. I did not buy corn, so I'm glad you mentioned that, because I wasn't sure the cracked corn. Like, is it really? I don't know. Is it a bad thing? Because some people are not really down for corn. They don't want food with corn. They're against the corn. Darren's driving, guys, so if he doesn't answer, that's why. So he sees you all, but he can't type. He's driving. Yeah, I'm telling you, these like, I have to talk to them, and literally, but they're actually good therapy. Because to be honest, my coworker's like, "Did you hug a hen today?" I'm like, "Yeah, I hugged a hen today at lunch." Well, not literally, but I have my lunch. I sit down with them. I watch them. I talk. There's a radio playing, and just, you listen to the birds chirping. You watch the horrible tree rats. I can't stand them. They make me sick. And George the groundhog made an appearance, so that's the one of the videos I'll be dropping maybe today or tomorrow. But and it's, yeah, he's back in full effect. Um. Yeah. So I think I'm gonna get the crack corn. I think it's seed mix also. Yeah, the bird seed, the wild bird seed mix. I mix that, and I'm gonna get them the hanging bell, like suet or whatever they call it, to peck at that. But I don't know how, like, Fifi. I'm not sure if you have crack corn or corn in your mix. I'm not sure if I saw you mention that, but I'm thinking I can get crack corn. I'm just trying to figure out what I can get from the store without having to go to the feed store every time. I'm just thinking I can get flax seeds, sunflower seeds. I can get steel cut oats, no problem. Corn granules. I do have some cat food. I'm going to give them cat food from time to time. I gave them their own eggs scrambled with the shell, because they had stepped on that egg or something, so I couldn't eat it. It wasn't one I could eat, so I gave them an egg twice. They had rice and peas. They've had some other stuff they've eaten. Hey, Virginia Bushcrafter. I don't think I saw you earlier, so unless I missed you. I saw you saying hi to Starduster. I'm trying to figure it out. It's because I have a big old bag of alfalfa pellets, a huge 50-pound bag, I think. But that's okay, because that can be used in the gardening and in the pots, and to bury, under the soil to add nutrients. Or you can do the liquid, make a liquid. But the corn, but then again, it might be more affordable just to buy it now and done. And I do have all my food in steel drums, a steel garbage pan, so that's worked great. Nothing can get into them, to or mice or the raccoon. I haven't heard the raccoon. Now, mind you, I could be sleeping. I could be sleeping heavily, and I'm not hearing them. But I don't think the raccoon's been around. I have those two predator lights that flash red, looks like an eye. They seem to be working, I think. And at 6 o'clock in the morning, when I went out this morning earlier, they were still flashing. So that was good. And I have a radio playing all night long now. So maybe that's that sound of like people talking and stuff. Oh, you're just getting in. Okay, good morning. Um, Hopefully it's working. The groundhog is not a threat to the girls, I don't think, but they're not going to have access. The skunks, the possums, and the raccoons. Other birds, yes, I don't want them near them. I don't want them. They're going to be under a tarp to protect from any fecal matter from the wild birds or the geese, because geese do fly by, from you know being in their space, touching, falling on them, or being in their run, because that's how the bird flu, that other thing spreads. So yeah, but that's not really an issue for backyard gardeners. I don't think, they're talking about it heavily, but I don't think backyard gardeners are really getting that, because we don't have our birds. Well, I don't see people with small spaces and have them all congested on top of each other. I think most of us give our birds a little bit of room, and they have free reign, and they have fresh air and exercise, and it's a different thing. Yes, I do grain mix for my fall and winter when it goes cold, but not in the okay, because it produces too much heat. Okay, so you put the corn. I do remember someone saying that. So you put the corn in the feed in the cold time, and in the hot time they don't get any corn. So you mix it. Okay, so I will get corn, but I won't mix it in now. I'll use the oyster shells to give them that calcium. Yeah, I think people actually who live in a cold climate give them the feed later on in the day, so that it helps keep them warm at night. So they now get their food in the morning. So I may have to just give them their ration in the morning. When it's done, it's done. And at about 4 o'clock, you give them another set of rations with corn, and that will sustain them through the night. I've seen some people mention that, and that seems feasible. But again, that means you're going out twice. It's like, you just want to be mindful, because you don't want to be tied to your coop all day and all night. And if somebody else comes to do stuff for you, you want to make it as easy for them. If you're on vacation, that they feed them once a day, and it's kind of like they can do their own thing. You don't want all these special instructions for other people, because it's just too difficult. Okay, you haven't given them grains. Yeah, I give them. If you say grains, yeah, like I'm giving them the flax seed. Well, the flax is coming this week, but the flax is coming. Steel cut oats. Hey, Tori, and hey, Charisse, and hey, did I miss somebody? No, okay, everybody. Because I can get them from the grocery store, and sometimes I had a connection. I'm gonna try to see if I can get them back. People who worked at the grocery stores, and like they can give you the garbage. So literally, if a bag gets busted open, that's not going to be sold, but I can use that bag of oats to feed my hens, or even a bag of rice or beans. I can soak them, cook them, and then because that saves me money and helps them not to be dependent on the store bought feed. Whole kernels in the winter, and I bet you whole kernels last longer, right? Versus having it already cracked. I'm just thinking that would probably stay fresher longer. Okay, I'm gonna buy it now before I need it, so I have it already, and just keep that in the steel bin. The corn, I'll give them a little bit here and there, just to see if they like it, and if they can handle the size of it, and then after that, I'll leave it for the winter. That's a cheap way, because my girls are not gonna have any heat, any and they don't need it. It's not chicken abuse. If you do it right and you have the right setup and the right insulation and the right airflow, they don't need external heat. They have a full downfill coat. So I'm letting nature do what it's for. Our chickens get a lot of our, yeah. I'm still trying to learn what scraps they can have. So they had the rice and peas. I gave them, and I think they had a bit of curry goat in the rice and peas, to be honest. There was a bit of goat still in there that was getting old. Someone goes, don't feed them chicken, but Soylent Green, people, Soylent Green. We're probably eating. Anyways, you can watch the clip of what Soylent Green's about. But yeah, so they ate their own egg. And the cat food, some of the cat food is chicken. So they're probably gonna end up eating chicken from the cat food. Somebody, I know their cat's no longer here, they have to be put down. So There's cat food to be used, so the girls can have it with stuff. Oh yes, bless Shanice. Yes, I met you yesterday at Jocelyn. Thanks for coming in. Welcome. This is a today's a gardening talk and about whatever else. But I'm talking about my chickens. I got chickens. I'm very new chickens owner. So some of the people in the chat have chickens and they know about it. Let me see what Star's saying. It helps our lay in the cooler temps. They usually slow down then since moving to Ohio from Ohio to Florida. Oh yeah, I forgot you were in Ohio. That was so you know about the cold. You know about it. Um Okay, make sure it's not important. To be honest, I just feed my chickens their feed and free range. They prefer bugs, seeds, worms. Yeah, they're gonna free range and the part that has been missing from the new run was delivered yesterday. And they didn't tell me like this customer service, like they've done their best, but they don't communicate with the shipping and it's just been a hot mess. My tenant knocked on my door to tell me there's a package in front of her door, and that's the part that's missing for the door. So today I wanted to finish the door frame and put the mesh all around the unit, the outdoor run, and then determine if the mesh is strong enough, which I don't think it's strong enough. You know those ones from Amazon, those kennels you get with a metal frame and then it comes with a big old mesh. Um, I'm not sure if the mesh is strong enough. And then my dad's away this week, so I'm going to have to either manually lift them into the external run to give them a little more space and then fight with them to get back into their coop by like 7 o'clock so that they can go to bed by 8 o'clock. We'll see, because he's going to build me a channel that they can move back and forth freely and always be protected. So in that area, they'll get grass, they'll get bugs, they'll get all kind of bugs and stuff. Plus, I'm gonna morning G Mama. Plus, I'm gonna grow some herbs around the perimeter of theirs that they can kind of pick through the mesh. Yeah, because they don't want to go to bed. They don't. That's what I'm saying. They don't do what you want to do when you want them to do it. When I go in to add food to the, like their snacks, they're literally fighting to open the door and make a run for it. And I'm have to put my foot in there, like in there, and get back in there. I don't need my neighbors seeing all these birds flying all. Can you imagine? And what's some of these top secrets now expose all these birds be flying all over the place. So I'm gonna have to clip their wings. So my free range is gonna be basically gonna have to be under quote unquote tunnels, channels. I cannot let my birds free range because right before I know I have birds of prey, but it didn't really click the amount I have. So right before they were coming and I was getting things finalized, my dad, my sister, and I were in my backyard, discussing the best way to have it, just to make sure that they're protected from the raccoon. And we're all being consumed about the raccoon. We look up in the sky, we see 3 birds of prey flying together like they're a family or a group. And I'm like, 3 of them together. Usually see 1, but 3, yeah, not good. Not good. So I know for a fact that would be a free dinner for somebody. So I'm not even going to play around with that. They are not going to be left out in the open. They're going to be under mesh at all times. Hey, the educated naturals. Someone said hi to you, but I didn't see you myself. Let me scroll up. Okay, good morning, Kim. I just didn't see you. Did I see you? No, I didn't see her. Who's saying hi to her? She in here? Or is she in the bushes? Did someone see her name pop up and she's in the bushes? I think G Mama brought her out the bushes. I wake up, so I am okay. No problem. Take care, Sharice. We have about 3 species of hawks, and yes, I'm saying. So you can't just let them. Oh yeah, I want a free range. Let them be free, and then I come back and I have like 5 less chickens. Who? How does that help me? People have a lot to say about how you do stuff, but they ain't here living your life and seeing what you have to experience. So, and good morning, Tampa barbecue queens. You can't say that. Okay, so let me keep scrolling down. Today's just a mishmash of whatever topics. Them birds of prey will find them chickens. That's why I'm glad I have an indoor run. I'm saying you need to have them protected because although I'm here, I'm not here watching them all day. I'm at my desk, I'll be at the front. When I'm outside gardening, no problem, I'm there. But no, you have to protect your birds, you got to protect your investment. You don't, and then all you're doing is training these birds of prey to keep coming back to your yard to get food. Like you can't you can't have it both ways. If I lived in a place that had very minimal and even to no birds of prey, no problem. So I got the raccoon, I got the possums, and I got skunks and birds of prey. No, they can't be left outside unattended. They have to be under hardwire mesh at all times. So they're still going to get the experience of free ranging. And I will make sure, oh, take care, Starduster. I will make sure that I'm planting things in their outdoor run. So there's a way you can do things that you can have like a mesh drop seed so that they can't actually get right to the seeds and then let them grow through the mesh and then have like wheatgrass or other things like that. They have been having fox problems in the ATL. That's exactly. And they're very crafty, they're very sneaky, they're very swift. And you'll turn your head and just go to the front and get something and you come back and you see feathers. So it's not worth it. And you don't need that attraction to your neighbors as well. You don't need them seeing all these predators coming around because some of them have small dogs and they don't need to have those animals coming around. It's dangerous for their small dogs. So you need to use good old-fashioned common sense. Like what you do in the country and what you do in the city are not the same. So, I don't know what to tell people, but I let them out and haven't lost one yet. Yeah, but you don't live over here. You live in the in like a, I would say, slash country area because oh, you're saying bye to lady leaving. Sorry, I thought you were leaving. I thought you were saying peace out. Um I've seen your area. So you have, yeah, it's you probably don't have as, and the thing about it is when you live in an area that's country and everybody or a lot of people have crops and have livestock, they have more options to choose from as a predator. I'm in the city, we're all like on top of each other, kind of sort of, but not really. And I'm the only one with crops, sun, like all the stuff is over here. So I'm like, the Shangri-La. I'm telling you, I got lions, tigers, and bears. I do. They know where to come. If it was spread out more evenly, where they could go, and the whole block has like fruits and vegetables and trees and stuff, and quail and chick. No, when you're the only one, they're all coming to your door. The Hawks have been brave this year. I've seen it. I saw your videos. It's been because of all the new construction. Yes, if you have construction, that's a problem. And 2 years ago, the train company finally cleaned up all the excessive brush behind our property. So all that brush that they were hiding in, and we had bats. I haven't seen the bats in a while. We had the raccoons came out because now I guess their den was like, demolished, and they end up coming more into your backyards. And my yard has the stuff. So this is the problem. You gotta. So in the country, I think I won't be. I will let them. you have you have lions, tigers. I'm telling you, and you know, and one lady did mention. She did mention that she lets her chickens free range after, I would say, like 2 or 3 o'clock ish. Let's say, because she knows they're not going to go too far because they're going to be wanting to come back at a particular time to go back to bed. So because she knows chicken behavior, she will let them out of their run at a certain time, because if she lets them out in the morning, they will be gone like way beyond the boundaries of her property to the neighbors, and then they might end up going to sleep in a tree because they're too far from the coop. So for her, she mentioned that. So I'm like, okay, cool. That might be a good plan. Like, let them out at a certain time into the bigger run. and then they won't be so free to be walking and flying all over the place. I think I watched Bull's Garden. He had to clip one of his girl's wings recently because she was hopping over the fence, going to the neighbor, getting out of hand, enjoying her freedom. So he had to clip her wing. One wing, he said, not both, because once you have one clip, they're off kilter, so they can't really do much. So I will probably be clipping one of their wings in the next week or so that when I'm moving them manually out and they get out away from me, because they're very slippery, they're very crafty, they can't go anywhere, they can't fly. Lions. No, I don't have tigers and bears, but I have lions. No, tigers. No, bears. Probably yes. Never seen one, but no, they're here. If you are the only one growing, you're gonna have to worry about. Yeah, they can steal. Like, one thing I mentioned way back is that I've never been one. This is before I started growing food minding. Before I'm in the prepping mindset. Like, if I'm at a function and you have potlucks at work and whatever you have, people bring food. I'm not one to fight over food. I'm like, you eat it, you poop it out. Why are we fighting over food? And especially when we have so much to eat. I'm not talking about when you don't have food to eat and you're like desperate. Like, put it in the right context. So I was never one to fight over food. When people don't bring food to the potluck and there's leftover food, people are like, well, she didn't bring any food, so why is she eating? We have so much food. Like, let the people them who didn't bring eat, because it's just going to be thrown out anyways. Just let the people them eat. And then I'm the same kind of with the garden. I don't like people coming and stealing. Don't get me wrong. I want to conk them in their head, but allegedly, but you can't do that. And if you understand the principle of growing food, you drop one seed and you get multiples of the food. So if you grow enough for the bugs, the animals, for loss from like rotting or weather, and for the thieves, you still have plenty of food for yourself. And that will just give you a peace of mind. Because to go out there and fight over a squash is, I know you're not fighting over the squash, you're fighting to feed your family, but it's a bit ridiculous. Like, people are going to steal. And usually it's people that that smile in your face and actually help you on your property. Those are the ones that be stealing the most. Ask me how I know. I would like to go on a wild boar hunt. That sounds interesting. I want to try turkeys first, so I'm going to start with the turkeys, and then I'll move up to because I heard the boar. I think it was Virginia in another chat this week. I think it was you that mentioned that boars are like, they're rough. Like, they will just trample you over. They're not like gentle little cute pigs like Babe. Like, these boars are vicious. I think you're talking about like the freedom season, the side. I don't know what we're talking about. We were talking about something, and people were talking about like how to feed yourself and foraging, and we came onto the boars. Oh, you need a video? I don't think I saw that video start, so I'll check. I'll look for that. When you let them out too early, I'm telling you, they get hype and start going off and doing pure foolishness. Okay. Barham. Let me see. I'm just catching up. Okay, later, G Mama. I'll catch you in these streets. Morning, Nikki. Okay, so she's I clipped both wings. The one white leghorn was teaching the others how to fly. There, Miss Chi. Oh my goodness. I'm telling you, I really think these girls are sitting there plotting like, okay, when she turns her head at this point and leaves the door just ajar, you just knock out this, and then they're making a whole plan on how to escape. How to escape. A whole plan. Working on it, Stardust. They're working on it on your Yes, I know somebody else. I watch a large channel and they grow food outside of the property line. They've planted trees outside the property line and they put a sign up when they're fit, the fruit is fit, and saying to people help themselves. They can pull over and fill their bags or baskets, whatever. They are putting it outside of the property line. That's a good strategy to keep people from coming up into your property because you know that they're going to want to. And as I said, dropping a seed is not that hard for you. You're already dropping seeds. So dropping a few outside the property line, a squash, a pumpkin, a watermelon, that's going to give ample fruit. Let me see here. I'm going hunting with my neighbors next weekend. Oh, I'm glad. I know you were. I know it was you started. So we're talking about when we were talking with hands in the dirt, because you're like, well, who can we go to teach us how to hunt? Because you wanted to learn how to hunt, and that got me thinking. And I did find a group that I can join, and they teach you how to hunt and the skills of hunting. And I got a connection with another person that is a personal friend of a friend of mine. So they come highly recommended, and they do pig hunting. I guess I don't know if it's called pig or boar or whatever they call it, and turkey. So that would be something they can take me on with somebody that I can feel comfortable with, that and someone that is recommended, and then learn these skills and learn how to feed yourself. So that's good. I'm glad you found. Yeah, I'm glad you found a group to go with, because you need to go with people that can show you the skills, but you need to feel comfortable with these people. Boars will attack you even when they hear a gunshot. I'm telling you, you need to understand what I'm learning by having these. No problem. She said, I see you. Okay, take care. Thanks for popping in. I think what I'm learning more, because it's great to talk to people and hear stories and learning about boars, but until you have that experience, it's different. So we need to put ourselves in a position where we have these experiences, because bushcrafter can tell us and it makes sense. And yeah, they're gonna keep running when they hear. But when you're the one standing there and you've fired and they're still coming at you full force, you need to know how to handle yourself. And we need to put ourselves in positions where we can learn from people in a safe environment, and how to handle these animals, because we don't understand their animal behavior. We think we do, but we really don't. It's turkey hunting season now. Going in the field next week. Not that I need turkey because I'm growing my own, but yeah, you want to maintain your skill set. Exactly. You don't need. I know you're growing your own turkey, but sometimes the wild ones, I don't know. You tell me. Does it taste better, the ones that you get in the wild versus what you're growing on your own? Have a wonder. Okay, so take care. Okay, so I'm the Starduster. Them white leghorns. Oh, deer. She's hunting deer. That is. Oh, you're going for the big game. I'm starting with the turkeys and the and the boars. Hey, G-Quad. Um, and they're working on the logistics of the escape. I'm telling you, they're sneaky. And then there were literally two of them were like bulldozing with their little heads. I'm like, where do you think you're going? Like you're like all of 2 pounds. Like I take my one little hand and just push them. But when they're all doing it, one will slip through the cracks. They're very sneaky. So I'm going to have to clip them wings this week. So oh dear, my goodness. I invited myself. Hey, do what you gotta do. I know you've been speaking about wanting to go hunting since last year when we were talking on I think it was African Dreamings live, and we were talking about deer hunting, and Hans came up and he was explaining what happens when you hunt and how to field dress and all the things that could go wrong, and he has to carry the deer from here to the car, like it's a whole thing. And you were like, how can somebody learn that? Because you want to actually have hands-on experience. So if you need to invite yourself, invite yourself. They probably thought you weren't interested in going hunting, so they probably never mentioned it. So good. The squeaky wheel gets the oil. That's what we were told, right? Sometimes you need to invite yourself, or make it known that, hey, I'm interested in going. Like if you want to, next time you're going, can you let me know? Yeah, I watched some videos as well. You can't waste time learning skills. Like that's never going to be a waste of time. I'll be in the tree targeting them. I'm going boar hunting. Them things run too fast. Yeah. Oh, they move. That's funny. That's what bushcrafter said, that they move fast. People have in their mind that these animals are like, Humpty Dumpty. No, these people be moving fast. And you're running and you're scared. You might be tripling and fumbling up and hurt yourself. Hey, plant a garden. So learn the skills that you need to learn, and learn them now. Um, and some of these things, as I said last week, getting back to nature, and we all have our different ways. Some people don't not into hunting, some people not into that. Some people are into like bird watching. Whatever you're doing that's involving nature, it's good for your peace of mind, it's good therapy, it's good for all of these things. If we connect back with nature, you'll see how your life improves. It's gonna improve. I can tell you 100%. It will improve your life. It helps you to look at things differently. Even taking care of these chickens is like, they're so ridiculous, but you have to find ways to adjust, because they're not going to change their behavior, just like some people are not going to change their behavior. So you got to have some tactics on how to deal with them. The wild turkeys taste differently. I soak them in salt water and vinegar to cut the wild taste. Oh, the gamey, but it tastes differently. Okay, differently is not always bad though, but yeah, I hear you. You're gonna have that wild, you know, taste, especially the males. The taste always they always have a rankish kind of smell. Every animal has a rankish kind of smell to them. Yep, a closed mouth don't get heard. You gotta make it known that, hey, I'm interested in going hunting. Can you? They are humongous, and the tusks. That's what I'm like. Oh my god, what if they catch you? Wild turkey tastes gamey. Oh, it tastes gamey. I've never had wild turkey. I've always just had, the ones in the store. I've never even had homegrown. So I think homegrown would be a significant improvement for me. Never mind buying, getting a, hunting one or getting one that was caught in the wild. Venison is also gamey, but I still enjoy it. Well, I like goat, and I like goat, and it's kind of gamey. Bison is kind of gamey. I don't think I mind it as long as it's cooked and seasoned well. I don't think I mind, but I do not like lake fish. I don't like that. It just smell. I don't know what it is. I find them fishy. The kind of I don't like. I like ocean fish. I don't like lake fish unless somebody just doesn't cook it properly. I don't know if it's them. Um, but I'm not a fan of it. If it's cooked over an open fire, I can tolerate it, but I'm not a fan of it. So I do want to try deep sea fishing. That's definitely, I don't know how it's going to happen, but I definitely want to try deep sea fishing. We've been going fishing with them now. I'm ready to take. Okay, so you've been good. Never a waste. Yeah, they're rank. They're just rank. Um. Also, I that just reminds me with the boar talk. I saw in the news that the Americans are blaming the Canadians for this new breed of wild boar that's taking over the north, coming from Canada. And I guess it was part of a I don't know, like a breeding thing, and they had them breeding them for food, and then I guess something happened with funding. I don't know what happened. Can't remember what I read, but they kind of were left unattended, and no one was, and then they just took off, and they became wild. And they're blaming cat for these Canadian. They call them in the news Canadian boar. Do these boars have a passport? Like, how are they Canadian? Like, it's always somebody else's fault. But they're blaming for this infestation of all these boars. I'm like, so really and truly, there is a higher volume. They breed quite quickly, from what they say. They travel in packs, in I guess it packs they call them, or whatever, herds, whatever they call the. And there's more available for people to hunt. So if you do want to hunt boar, there seems to be a need, because then they're telling people don't go and hunt them just to decrease the population. We're not asking for that. We're just, so why, what are you advertising it for? Why are you telling me there's too many boars? Do you not want me to have bacon? Like, I don't know why you're telling me this, and you're blaming it on Canada, and then you're saying don't go hunting. I'm not too sure what the agenda was, but letting you know there's a problem with the boar. There's too many of them in the northern parts, and they're moving their way southern, I guess. I'm not too sure. Yeah, the Canadian boar. So have at it, allegedly. I think island people is used to the rank, and I don't eat freshwater fish. Yeah, I don't like it. And maybe because the water's not clean, like it's well, they should come over here to Massachusetts. I would love to. I'm telling you, look it up and on the news feed, it'll tell you. So they actually had the nerve. I'm like, how dare they? The Canadian, how are you saying Canadian boar? Animals is animals. You can control where they walk and where they go. They're not going to getting a visa to travel. They're just gonna go where they're gonna go. My goodness. But they love to make a whole thing. And I'm sure that those Canadian boars, the funding came from the US, allegedly. Who knows? Like we're not just sitting up here making Canadian, yeah, Canadian pork chops. Like, and I think they mixed a pig with a like they did something, some involvement, some man involvement was in breeding, and now there's this whole yeah. So if you like to go hunting for a boar and you're in the northern part, then go ahead and learn that skill because there's plenty to be had. They really the news makes a mountain out of molehills. They make a whole, pork chop out of a boar. It's not, somehow they got out. I don't know how. And the same way they got out, the same way the trout and the hybrid salmon's getting out, and all these different stuff, it's getting out. Yeah, hybrid. Yeah, it's hybrid with a U.S. visa, and then they don't want it to mix with your boar, as if your boar are pure. Like I didn't do the research, but I'm sure they can't be saying that in the news. That just sounds ridiculous. But that's what's going on. So I'm thinking, hunting is gonna become appealing to more people, especially if you've kind of gone a few times but haven't really taken it on as a hobby. It's going to become more interesting to people because you have access to some food right there. Right there. Fishing, some people don't believe the fish is good because of the radioactive poisoning and stuff of the waters through various sources, plants, across the oceans, things that have been leaking for years. So they're not really keen on eating fish, but everything's been contaminated in all honesty. So I don't know how we can prevent that. Um, what else was going on this week? I can't remember, but I think somebody asked. Oh yeah, I think where was I? Whose live was I in? A couple of people need their playlist played. I can't remember offhand right now. I've been in so many lives, but I think a few people, but they'll tell you who they are. I think they should be putting it on their community tab, and we'll share it out. But a few people need watch WH. So if you watch them anyways, then just check watch their playlist. But I can't remember who offhand. But there's a few people who asked. I'm trying to think. I can't remember. When you're on YT like all week, it just becomes a blur. They probably didn't have any visas because they made it past the border office. I'm telling you, they made it past. They snuck past. Everything's an issue. Hey, Martika, everything is an issue nowadays. So that's good. Like, keep your skills up. Get your books, your herb books, your medicinal books. These are things that are not going to be hard. Like a lot of the weeds that you're doing you're killing in your property are actually medicinal. It would be better. Oh, are they? Don't do the playlist anymore. YouTube's coming down on that. Oh, I didn't know that. Also, don't create a playlist. Just watch people's videos back to back to back. Like make it run. Oh man, that's terrible. They're really making it difficult to get ahead. I used to give the hunters permission to hunt on my North Carolina homestead. I put my cane corsos up. They gave me meat in return. Oh, that's fantastic. So they would schedule it ahead of time. You would know, okay, they're coming on X date. Your dogs would be locked up because their dogs would probably go crazy. And then, yeah, that also reminds me of another point. Let me excuse me, do a good clear out 1 second here. Give me a moment. This mouse is frozen. The somebody I watch. was having an issue with hunters coming on their property. And it was a whole argument. And this person was going on to their they didn't have a channel, but onto their media, telling all their hunters like this person is like some city guy who comes to the country and trying to change our way of living. And then the guy is like, he's not trying to change his way of living. He had a problem with hound hunting. Is it called hound hunting? He had a problem with that. And he had a problem with people coming on his property. And in certain states, at certain times of year, it's like hunters can get free reign to go all over unless you have signs on your property and fencing. So the man's like, well, why don't you just put a fence around your property? You're talking to a property owner who has hundreds of acres of property. Not no 5-10 acres. I'm talking hundreds of acres of property. Do you know how much it's going to cost to fence hundreds of acres of property? Good morning, growing what I eat. That's I can't even imagine how much it's going to cost, but that cannot be cheap. So they're paying to keep you out, and they can't keep you out. So they're paying to keep what in? Their animals aren't leaving their property. And they put signs up, but then the signs could fall off the tree. You got to paint the signs. You got to put a property, like all these things that you have to do to make, and that's if they enter your property from the part that has the signage up, because it's kind of hard to put signs up I don't know if you guys know the rules more than I do, but it was a whole argument. And the guy was doing videos documenting like the beef with this person. And then the person is saying stuff because everyone's so justified in their own viewpoint. You could lose your channel. That's Miss V. Okay, I missed a couple of Miss V's live, but I know she talked about it, so I will go back to her because she is always in with the information. So I will check that videos out. But yeah, it's a lot of work for you as a property owner to tag your property, mark it to say no trespassing. You certainly can't fence the whole property. And then the reason why the property owner did not want it fenced was he wanted the animals to have free access to come in and out of their property. He wanted bears, he wanted geese, he wanted other animals to really be part of the diversity of his local ecosystem. He want rabbits, even foxes, stuff like that. He locks his animals away at night. And then the man said he's not even a real farmer. He only has birds, or, if you know which channel I'm talking about, then you know, but don't mention the man's name. The man had birds at the time. He had a lot of geese, a lot of chickens, and a lot of ducks. He now has Highland cattle and other things. He was gradually moving up the hierarchy of livestock because all these things cost money. Like, it's not free. So he has to have the infrastructure built, as well as the barns, the finances, that whole stuff. So now he has cows. So I guess you're only a real farmer when you have cows. So I guess now he meets the requirements of this hunter. And he did not like the hunting. And he wasn't against hunting because he's been hunting. So just because you're against an aspect of something does not mean you're against the whole of it. So he did not like that the fact that the dogs, when you use hounds to hunt, you're supposed to be in control of your dogs for the entire hunt. As far as the hunter was concerned, as long as he had a tracking device on his dog, he was in control of his dog. And the property owner did not agree, because knowing where your dog is and being in control of your dog are two different things. If you're not able to say, to your dog, whatever the command is, like to stand, sit, stop, heel, whatever commands you give your dog, then you're not in control of your dog. And then those dogs chase like the bear up a tree, and the poor bear, the hunt is kind of, the hunt is kind of rigged. It's not really, I don't really enjoy when I started to watch him go through the explanation. I don't think I'm a fan of that. I think if you're hunting and you have one dog and the dog's helping you track, I'm okay with that. But 50 dogs or 20 dogs and all chasing down one prey, and then I think that's hunting. I don't know. Like, even the fox and the hound, that hunt, I can see why people really are getting turned off by that. And I'm not against hunting, but Yeah, you can tell me what you think, because a lot of y'all are into that. You know, it's kind of part of your culture. It's not really hunting is a part of our culture here. Don't get me wrong, but in different provinces, we have other provinces that abut the American states, and that culture is kind of there, like Calgary, Edmonton, because there's a lot of cowboys and ranchers and all that kind of stuff in other provinces. Not all of Canada is highly like is Toronto and like city way of living. We have a lot of provinces that heavily rely on hunting and fishing. So it depends on where you're living. But it's not part of the culture heavily over here unless you live way up in the north, which for them hunting is a part of their culture. The person needs to humble themselves now that they know the property owner doesn't. Yeah, but that's that person. What about the other hunters? Because at one point at 2 in the morning, his family was disturbed and his dogs were disturbed by hunters coming on his property and literally wreaking havoc because your animals are sleeping and then your dogs are now on high alert, and then there's these other person's dogs, attacking your, like, it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. And I don't know when it's appropriate to be hunting at 2 o'clock. Well, maybe you do hunt at 2 o'clock in the morning and you're approaching somebody's house, and you can see there's kind of like a structure and a barn and a greenhouse. Like, you could see all these things there. Like, where are you going? Even if you had permission to hunt, I think they don't want you hunting right in their front window. So he had to come out, and then you have to come out with your tool, your pow pows, and they have their pow pows. And for the most part, there's an understanding. You don't point it at people, but who are you? What are you doing here? And you're already out. Not, like, it's just a lot of stress for, yeah. So they had a lot of discussion, and it became a campaign that he was anti-hunting, and he wasn't anti-hunting, but there needs to be some other parameters that need to be discussed, and and compromises made. My property was posted barbed wired on the perimeters, patrolled by Mr. Mossberg and 6 adult king course. Yeah, Mr. Mossberg. And that's a lesson that needs to be learned. People need to know how to protect. Good morning, Food Forest. Hi, Urban Gardening. Chronicles. On my way fishing. Oh wow, you're going fish. We're talking about that hunting and fishing. Good for you. Microgreens. Oh yeah, I've been into microgreens recently. Funny enough, I use the trays, and I've been doing wheatgrass. So, but the hunting, yes, permaculture. Good channel. Good information. Oh, other hunters too. Okay, well, I was just saying, yeah, the hunter talking smack, but you they're Americans and Canadians, but I'm saying whatever. People who are into hunting, there's hunting seasons. And depending on and there's a lot of rules to follow. So you got to know, like, there's duck, there's geese, there's different seasons for hunting. Don't ask me what they are. I have no idea. I'm going to have to get a book to learn that, because I am going to be getting my hunting license. I can get my hunting license even though I've never been hunting, because I've already did the firearms. So I will, and I should have done that already. It's on my to-do list because it should have been done already. So basically, May is basically in a couple of days. The beginning of May, there's some things that need to be addressed, and the hunting license, getting that in, and finishing the photo stuff, the picture ID and stuff to submit for the firearm stuff needs to be finished off. So that's going to be done in the next 2 weeks, because it's like you keep delaying because I can get my hunting license as well as the firearm license. So then I can go hunting and take animals home with me. So I'll be working on that. But there's different seasons for different animals, as well as fishing. And you can't hunt certain fish, certain things. You got to put it back in the water. And if you get caught, you get fined. There's all different things. And then when you're on a provincial park, there's other rules. So you have to know the rules. And on top of that, you have to know if you can cross boundary lines, because you're not entitled to go on people's property. So that's a lot of responsibility for a landowner to keep people off of their property. He realized that there's a lot of work for him to do to keep people off of his property. And fencing your property is not always an option when you have a huge, huge property. Microgreens, you can cut and come again, but not indefinitely. I found that the wheatgrass, I put too many seeds. It was too dense. It started to get moldy in there. You can cut and come again, maybe once or twice, maybe twice, depending on the what you're growing. If it's like bean sprouts or broccoli, but it's not indefinitely, no, because it's gonna start to get. It's hard to keep them from not getting moldy. I'm watching a lot of people's videos, and I haven't seen anything that they're gonna get moldy. And once they get moldy, especially for chicken feed, you can't give them moldy stuff. So I have to slow down the amount of seeds I'm doing on a tray at once. I followed somebody's instructions verbatim. It said 1 cup and 1/3 of a cup of wheat berries. That was too many. I'm probably going to do a 3/4 of a cup and have more space between the seeds so that there's also more airflow. I wash them every day, twice a day with water. I rinse them with hydrogen peroxide. There was still a lot of mold because air couldn't flow. I had a fan. It's very, you have to watch people who are doing this, like not a regular schmegular 1 or 2 trays. I'm talking about people who are doing it in, like, those storage units or those trucks. They have a whole, container, and they're just growing sprouts, and how they keep them from getting moldy. Because once they're moldy, it's of no good to you. Wheatgrass, I did cut and come again, but then I ended up giving the seeds, the bottom part, and the new growth to the chickens. When I was giving them that, trust me, they were not eating as much food. They loved the greens. So for Fifi and Starduster and anybody else who has chickens, foraging, yes, but growing them wheatgrass or bean sprouts or anything like that, when you come again, by the time you do the second cut for yourself, because sprouts are very good for you. They're more nutritious, and they've been scientifically proven to help prevent cancers. So this is not, allegedly, but read the science. And then you give the seeds and the roots and stuff to the chickens. They love that. Love, love, love. Let me see where I left off in the chat. I'm trying to keep up. And I'm going to be ending shortly because I do want to go and get I need to drop some seeds today. It's raining, but I want to drop I need to drop my radishes. I have a radish that I've been growing in here. Second time I've tried it. One is okay, the other one has died. They seem to get to a certain point and then just dampen off. So I got to figure that out. But I'm going to direct sow some radishes outside, the last variety of carrots, turnips, and my beetroots. And I'm going to be intercropping them in the raised beds at the top. I will be dropping a video, also a short video in today or between today and Monday, about the overwintering of my greens on my raised beds at the top of my garden that I covered with fleece all winter, and they are fine. They're Brussels sprouts, the cabbages. Almost 90% of my crop survived. I lost about 2 kohlrabis, maybe 2 or 3 plants, and the rest are fine. So I'm going to intercrop between what's already there, top up with some more soil and some more compost and manure, and plant some more stuff. But check that out when I drop it. But I'm direct sowing what I can that can handle the cold and let nature do the work for me. But you can cut and come again, Sam, but not as many times as you think. Not like lettuce at all. No, because mold is a problem. I just literally bought my saltwater fishing license. Even that fishing. So I'm going to get those stuff in order. I may not go and do them, but I think a hunting license lasts for it's more than a year. So it's worth the investment. Fishing, I think the same thing. Starts in May. Okay. Yeah. Boutique to get on the road, so I won't be in the chat. Okay, no problem. Thanks, Fifi. Oh yeah, the autocorrect. But yeah, I'm closing up soon. But yeah, that's what's happening, guys. Get your skills in order. Get your paperwork in order. I know over here we're having a strike. There's a big strike with like customs officers and whatever that union that they're under. I think it's even CRA. This like it's like basically the tax department in Canada, the same as the IRS for you guys. A lot of the employees are on strike, so a lot of services and a lot of things are being done at a much slower rate, if at all. So I don't know what's going on, but if you have some things to get in order now, paperwork and licenses and stuff like that that need renewing or whatever it is, get them done now because there's a lot of um, unions that are in a position to strike, and you don't hear about it until they're actually at the end and it's getting more volatile. That the negotiations aren't going very well. The and they're gonna have a strike, and then boom, they have a strike, and you had no time to kind of get your stuff in before the strike. So take it from me, get your paperwork in order now so that you have what you need so that if there's any kind of employee, you know, strike action, you got what you need. As for announcements, um there's no chat tonight from what I heard. They're off. This is their off week. The last weekend of the month is their off week, so there's no chat tonight. Ellen Panky G Quad is going live at 6 p.m. Um and I don't know about anybody else. So you'll see lives. Just click the live button. They'll show you who's live. Um, Monday, I'm going to be in the Neckbone News, and I will be in My Fly Family. Tuesday is Trill Tuesday with African Dreamin'. If y'all missed last Tuesday, it's past. I was on that one talking about stuff, so you can check that one out. Wednesday is My Fly Family at 5. And Wind Down Wednesday after that. Then I'll be Thursday in G Quad at 4. Initially is about 5 or 6. And then Planter Garden is after that as well. Friday should be Friday Fire with Tori's Brain. Didn't have it yesterday, but Fridays is Friday and Frugal Friday will be Friday. It wasn't yesterday because Gina wasn't feeling well, so Frugal Friday and not neck bone news and Friday Fire. Do 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 do. And let's check out other people. There's other people, but I'm not always there. Like I gotta sleep sometimes, and so I have, not that I don't want to be there, but if it's past my bedtime, you're not gonna see me. And I am watching Can't Stop Walking But Love Mowing. He goes on at 5 a.m. Sometimes I'm up before like at 5:30, but if I'm not, I usually play him at 6 when I'm up getting the chickens and stuff in order. I'll just play it right after. So he goes live, I think pretty much every morning at 5 a.m. Eastern time. He's in his truck driving and just talking. So you can check out Can't Stop Walking But Love Mowing. I've been listening to him as well. And Lashes goes live whenever she feels like it, whenever she's available. So you'll just have to see when it shows that she's live. And I can't think of anybody else. Fifi doesn't go live, but she's dropping a lot of content. So check out Fifi, and then you can type #urban to drop your link in the chat. And like and share the video. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel. Those in the bushes, those hiding. Those who have been subscribed, thank you. And check again that you are subscribed, because sometimes people are getting taken off and you don't even notice because you don't check. But check to see that you're still actually subscribed. And have a great week. Drop your seeds, because no one's going to drop your seeds for you. So get out there and pace yourself and drop your seeds. Hey, Jay. And be kind to yourself and be kind to others. Have a great week. Type your #urban to drop your link. I'll let it run for a few moments before I end it, but drop your link. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate you all. And I'll see you in the week. Yeah, you're on Caribbean time, Jay. But you're in a different time zone, so we'll give you a pass.